Welcome back to Ozarks Live. We are back one last time for this season of The Amazing Race, and it was amazing.
Yes, it was an action-packed 2-hour finale that I just was telling you, it had my heart beating way too fast the entire 2 hours. It was such a tight race all the way to the finish. But let's kick it off with hour one. So they go to Portugal, which another place that looks absolutely stunning.
Beautiful.
Would love to visit Portugal as well.
My list is getting longer and longer of the places I need to visit.
Just from watching The Amazing Race, who would have thought? Yeah. But this first roadblock they have to do is called Who Wants to Go Exploring? So they have to hop on a little rowboat and go from one dock to the other. But the trick is there's names on the back of like famous Portuguese explorers. So if you're not up on your Portuguese explorer history, you might mess up because there was other names on there like celebrities or other there was like a Portuguese poet on one. So if you got there and the name was not an explorer, then you had to go back and do it all over again.
So yeah, they're pulling up to different docks, and there was maybe one team that got it right the first time, or is that?
Yeah, no, I think they.
Right?
I think they all got it right except Arun, maybe. Arun had like a poet, so he had to go back Ryan had to go back too.
Ryan had to go back too.
So half got it right on the first count and half had to go back. But
either way, it just takes so much more time to then row your boat somewhere else. And again, it's only one person of the team doing this, so it's going to take a little bit more time.
Yeah, and so from the jump on this one, we see Arun and Natalia fall behind. But then next they head over to they're in the city now, and they have to do these sardine can paintings. So there was like 4 or 5.
With the paintings, you know, and they're so particular. Like
so
you have to do a good job or you don't pass the task.
Yes. It looked pretty hard, I'm not gonna lie. And thankfully, I will say, it was a good thing that it was like outlined, because my first thought was like, oh my gosh, are they gonna have to paint this from scratch? But you know, at least it was all outlined.
They did not.
Yeah, but they were very particular because we saw Dusty and Ryan struggled because their painting was done. However, the doorknob also had to be painted and they didn't paint it, so they kept getting told that it wasn't correctly painted. So it was just a whole mess.
Yeah, and sometimes they just don't give you enough detail as to what is not done or what is not done correctly. And so then it's like sometimes they go back and, I mean, not necessarily this task, but sometimes they go back and try to fix something that wasn't broken. You know?
Oh, we've said it all season. These Amazing Race judges are no joke. They are intense folks.
Yeah. And you have to be good at everything for this race. You have to be an artist. You have to have a memory like steel. You know, you have to be
have endurance like no other.
You have to be able to, you know, knit fishnet together. I mean, just the random things that you have to be able to do.
Yes. So the last part of this first hour was they had to go to this very old kind of, I don't know, building and count all these columns. And the hard part about it was you had to stand in this box kind of set back far away from it. So especially like for someone like me, I have awful eyesight. So I would be like Penn. I would have been really stressed out because you can't necessarily see fine point all the way down to the end.
And then if you say the wrong number, guess what? You get to run back. Start over again.
Yeah, because not to mention the judge for this was like a half a mile away. So you had to run to the judge, come back, and you got to, you know, keep going back and forth.
If you get it wrong on any of these things, you just lose so much time, and that's where all the frustration comes in. I mean, the task itself to have to redo over and over again is so frustrating, but to lose the time, it's just like your confidence in the whole race, I can imagine, would be really shaken.
Yeah, absolutely. And just for your information, there was 106 columns, so that was the correct number they were looking for. Now, we see the flight attendants Raquel and Kayla win this leg again, so they're back to back now from the last leg. And then, unfortunately, finally, dare I say, Arun and Natalia go home. They are eliminated.
I feel like they got a lot of extra chances, and to finish in the top 4 is amazing.
Yeah, absolutely.
But I don't think they deserve to win.
Yeah. So, and they did finish really strong, but I was happy to see them go.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So then we move into the second hour, which is the official final leg. All the teams fly back to the U.S., to Los Angeles. And this first little challenge made me laugh so hard. So they arrive at the Westin in Los Angeles, and there's a clue box, but the trick here is that there's a lock on the clue box, and so there's a code they're looking for. And it said something like, the clue you're looking for is something going up and down.
And so some of them start taking the stairs.
Yeah. Taking the stairs and looking around, and they're like
wasting a lot
really
of
confused. Yes, but what it happened to be is there was exterior elevators on the building, and so there was codes on that they were looking for. And this is where we saw Dusty and Ryan fall behind at the top of the finale, which was kind of sad to see. But then they go to this really like beautiful area where there's like all these pinatas. And they have to smash pinatas, and one's blindfolded.
Such a kick out of watching Penn do it.
Yes.
Because it's just him out there, and when he's done and he finally finds the clue in the right pinata, they're looking around, he's like, I did all of this. He had gone crazy with the pinatas.
Yes. Yeah, and the key here was there was 3 different pinatas they were looking for. So like I would be blindfolded and Cami would be instructing me on where to go. And then there was 3
left, a little bit right, in front of you, a little bit closer.
Yes, and then there was a clue in each one. So then at the end, you grabbed the 3 clues and it gave you the clue to your next place, which was then this place called Sir, which was really cool. They did this thing called Foley sounds, which is kind of like a behind-the-scenes action-based thing where you use very like everyday materials to make noises for actions. Yeah, sound effects that are happening.
For other shows that they've done. So the different tasks they've done in other shows, that would have been a lot of fun, I feel like, if you weren't in a hurry and in a race.
It did look really fun, but it looked very tasking and it looked kind of hard.
Getting the timing right, getting the sounds right.
It was very specific. Absolutely, absolutely. Yes. So then the last challenge of this entire season is they arrive at the LA Galaxy Stadium, and they're kind of on this tennis court looking thing, and it's a memory quiz, which is pretty classic. Amazing Race has done this a lot in the past, where the last thing they do is a memory challenge based off the rest of the season. So it's like, different things like what color was the candy that fell out of the pinata? How big was one of their Explorer judge hats? Like, what did the coin look like in the coin stone turning over in Greece?
I don't know that I would have paid attention that closely to details. Now, the people that have, really diehard fans probably know this. You probably know this. And Kim mentioned that she took notes along the way. I'm like, wow, that's brilliant.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Now, I'll say it was extremely, extremely tight this entire hour between Kim and Penn and Raquel and Caleb, but who won it all?
Kim and Penn.
The Holderness family took it all. It was super exciting. Yes. We were super excited for them. And even more so exciting, I actually got to interview them yesterday, so you'll see that interview later on in the show.
Cannot wait.
Yeah, it was super exciting. They are the best. Yes. Overall, though, I think this was an awesome season, an outstanding cast. Seriously, the casting director nailed it this season. They were super fun to watch, and like all the duos, good or bad, were they brought entertainment. They were fun to watch. It seemed like they were a really close cast too, which was kind of fun to see.
Yeah, I loved seeing at the very end when Kim and Penn came through on the came through the smoke. The first ones through, and you see some of the old cast members still there.
Which was
I'm
fun
like,
to see
they're cheering them on. Yeah, that's how it should be. I love it.
Yes, and all the teams finished strong. Even Dusty and Ryan, they finished the whole thing, came in third. Super proud of them still. They all, like I said, had a really good race. But Cami, this is all for Amazing Race this time. Thank you guys for sticking with us throughout this entire season.
Fun. Yeah, and you can stream the entire 33rd season of The Amazing Race on Paramount Plus or CBS.com.
That's right, so go check it out. We'll be right back.